Your horse survived laminitis. The diet is perfect now. ASC and starch are under 10%, and you've tested your hay. You have appropriate minerals, you have an expert barefoot trimmer coming every 2 to 3 weeks, and you have balanced angles now. And you're using a conservative approach. You probably have ideal turnout management, safe footing for your horse, and the hooves are healing, and the structures are stabilizing. But your horse still isn't moving right. Maybe there's shortened stride, maybe toe first landings, or flat and cautious steps, a rigid spine, braced body, unwilling to move freely forward, loading the damaged forehand even more. You were told, give it time. The hooves need to grow out, but months pass and the movement doesn't improve. Here's why and what you can actually do about it. Here's what I see constantly working with laminitic horses. Horse owners who did everything right, perfect diet, expert trimming, ideal management, and the vet gives the all clear. The trimmer says the structures all look good, but the horse isn't moving correctly. Sound familiar? Here's what's happening and what conventional protocols miss. Laminitis doesn't just damage the lamina, it rewires your horse's nervous system. During acute pain, your horse's nervous system creates protective movement patterns, like shortened stride to avoid weight bearing on the damaged structures, toe first landings to keep pressure off the painful heel, a rigid spine to prevent any movement that increases pain, brace muscles to splint against every step. These are brilliant survival strategies that absolutely work during crisis. But here's the problem. They become embedded in the nervous system. Even after the pain subsides, even after the structures heal, the nervous system remembers. The protective patterns persist. Your horse continues moving dysfunctionally, not because they're still in pain, but because the nervous system has been rewired. This is called the pain wind-up phenomenon, and it's why horses can be structurally sound after laminitis, but never truly functional. The lamina healed, the hoof capsule grew out, but the movement patterns didn't change. Conventional laminitis protocols are essential. Without these, nothing else works. I'm not suggesting to skip any of these, but here's what these protocols don't address. They don't restore the nervous system. They don't retrain the movement patterns that got embedded during the pain crisis. They don't teach your horse how to move correctly again. Think about it this way. So diet fixes the metabolic function. Trim addresses the structural damage. Turnout provides appropriate movement opportunity. Pain management gets you through the crisis, but who teaches your horse to move with a lengthened spine instead of a braced one? Who trains the nervous system to allow her heel first landings instead of protecting the toe first? Who helps them shift from survival mode to functional biomechanics? This is the gap. The structural damage heals, but the dysfunctional movement patterns stay. And if those patterns aren't addressed, they lead to chronic lameness, navicular disease, suspensory damage, coffin bone rotation, potential euthanasia down the road. Not because the laminitis wasn't managed properly, but because the movement patterns were never restored. This is what I've spent the last 40 years learning to address. So here's what actually works. Movement recovery using the language horses naturally understand. Not force, not mechanics, but communication. This is what I call movement language. Embodied communication that speaks to your horse and to their nervous system, not just their body. The recovery system I've developed has these 4 steps. Number 1 is develop your eye. So most people notice the gross lameness, but miss the subtle restrictions and compensations that matter the most. You'll learn to see where your horse holds tension, what's improving and what's not, the difference between pain and difficulty. Your eye becomes the diagnostic tool. and you'll develop your feel. Your hands learn to read your horse's body. At rest, you work on the pole, the thoracic area, the lumbar areas, feeling where tension is held, what releases and what stays stuck. And in motion, you'll learn what I call the triad, the connection between you and your horse that creates synchronized movement. Your feel becomes your guidance system. And step 3, you'll learn how to lengthen your horse's spine. And this is where the transformation happens. Through systematic walk sessions, 10 to 20 minutes, sometimes 2 to 3 times daily, you'll help your horse rediscover flowing movement. There's a specific procedure to this. You'll learn how to evaluate your progress objectively and when to be more assertive versus more conservative. That can sometimes be the hard work. This is the very core of recovery work. Step 4 is to improve your horse's balance. So once flowing movement is established, we address getting your horse off the forehand. This teaches your horse to engage the hindquarters, lighten their forehand, and achieve true self-carriage. This is what prevents further breakdown down the road, like navicular syndrome or suspensory damage or chronic lameness. So together, these 4 steps systematically restore what laminitis destroyed: the ability to move with a lengthened spine, engaged hindquarters, and flowing biomechanics. Here's the most important thing you need to understand about laminitis recovery. Laminitis management and laminitis recovery are 2 different things. Management addresses the crisis, the metabolic function, the structural damage, the acute pain. Management is absolutely essential. You can't skip that part. But recovery, true functional recovery, requires one more piece: restoring the movement patterns that got embedded during the crisis. Here's what you can start watching for in your horse right now. When your horse walks, look at their spine. Is it rigid, braced, held against movement, or is it swinging fluid, moving in all 3 dimensions? A rigid spine means they're still in protective mode, even if the pain is gone. A swinging spine means the nervous system is allowing functional movement. And here's one more thing you can try today. When you're with your horse, place your hand gently on their pole. Just rest it there. No agenda, no trying to make something happen. Feel what you feel. Is there tension, holding, bracing? Just notice. Because awareness is the first step. Before you can help your horse release dysfunctional patterns, you have to be able to feel. Your horse survived laminitis. That's huge. Now, help them to truly recover. Fully functional, biomechanically correct flowing movement. It's absolutely possible. If the course helps you do that, I'd love to work with you. The link is in the description below. And if you have questions, please leave them for me in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.